In the last lesson we talk how can we find the equation of a line by knowing 2 points on this line. يعني assume they told us that we have a straight line passing through 0, this point مثلا 0 2 and another point which is مثلا 5 and 3, and they asked to find the equation of this line. فإحنا كنا نقول the equation of any line is y equals mx plus c, and in order to find the m we have to find delta y over delta x, delta y over delta x. هلا how can we find the delta y? We can find the delta y by subtracting these two numbers اللي هم 2 minus 3 over these two numbers اللي هي 0 minus 5, which is negative 1 over negative 5, so m equals 1 over 5. And then in order to, so the equation of a line is what will be y equals 1 over 5 x plus c. In order to find the c, we have to pick any pair of these points and substitute. But if we have one of the points has x coordinate 0 like this one, that means this is C. ليش؟ لأنه C it is a point of intersection between the line and the y-intercept. This point 0 2 is on the y-axis. يعني هي أصلاً y-intercept 0 2 is here, so it is the C. So directly the equation of this line will be 1/5 x plus 2. But if we don't have this point اللي هي it has the x coordinate is 0, so you have to take any one of them and then substitute. This thing we explained in the previous lesson. But there is more than one method to find the gradient of the line. One of them is find the gradient by knowing 2 points on the line. Okay, هلا what if we have the equation of a line? يعني equation of a straight line. زي هون we are sometimes given the equation of a straight line in different form. يعني ما بتكون على شكل y equals mx plus c. Suppose we have the equation. هلا suppose that we have the equation اللي هي ايش؟ هاي الايكويشن هذه اللي هي 3 اوكي اللي هي sorry this one اوكي خلينا نحكي 3x minus 2x equals 6. هذه equation of a line, but it is different than the form that we took previously. It is not in this shape. How can we show that? That this represents a straight line and find its gradient and its intercept value on the y-axis. We can use algebraic rearrangement to obtain an equation in this form. يعني we have to change this equation اللي هي 3y minus 2x equals 6 and rearrange it and make it in this form اللي هو y equals mx plus c. يعني ايش لازم نعمل؟ We have to make y subject of the formula. So start by what? Start by 3y minus 2x equals 6, and then we are trying to make y subject of the formula. So bring the 2x to the other side and then divide by 3 both sides. يعني عندك هون بتصير 3y over 3 هذه over 3 وهون عندك 2x over 3 بتصير 2 third x و 6 over 3 فبتصير 2. Now the equation in its standard form, and we can see that the gradient is 2/3. So the number beside the x is the gradient, and the y-intercept is 2 and the constant is the y-intercept. هلا we can also work backward. طبعا يعني هلا مثلا ممكن يجيبوا لنا اياها بالعكس، يجي يقول لنا write a line has a gradient of 1/5 and has a y-intercept equals 1. What would its equation be? فهلا انت to find the equation we just substitute the correct values into a general formula. Y equals mx plus c. M is 1/5 and C is 1. So the equation is, what is the equation here? Y equal 1/5 x plus 1. If we want to remove the fraction, we can also give the equation in the form multiply each part. ما هي هذه اللي هي y equals 1/5 x plus 1. If I don't want to write a fraction, we can multiply both sides by 5. So هاي شو بدها تصير؟ بدها تصير 5y equals x plus 5 اللي هي الايكويشن اللي هم كاتبين لنا اياها هون. هيها 5y equals x plus 5. اوكي، ففي عندك اذا طريقه ثانيه عشان تعرف الجريدينت once you know the equation of the line زي هذا الاكسرسايز. هلا خلينا نحل هذا الاكسرسايز عشان تفهموا الدرس اللي انا عم بحكيه. هلا هم هون بقول لك معطينك equation of a line، بقول لك find the gradient and the y-intercept. اول اشي you have to check if this equation in the standard form or لا or not. يعني كيف in standard form or not؟ يعني is it written on the form y equals mx plus c or not? Is the y subject of the formula? If the y subject of the formula, so the number beside the x is the gradient and the constant is the y-intercept. For the first equation, it is written in the standard form. So directly the gradient is 3 and the y-intercept is 2. Write the numbers with its signs. يعني 2 لأنها بوزيتيف كتبناها 2 وال 3 لأنها بوزيتيف كتبناها 3. هلا 10y equals 5x minus 2. Y is not a subject to the formula. So before finding the gradient and the y-intercept, you have to make y subject to the formula by dividing both sides by 10. So the equation will be y equals 5 over 10 يعني half. بدها تصير half x minus 2 over 10 اللي هي 1/5. فمعناته هون عندك الجريدينت is half and the y-intercept is -1 over 5. Okay? Concerning the equation in the third part, erase this عشان أقدر أكتب. The third equation اللي هي 4y equals 12x. كمان you have to ask yourself, is y subject of the formula? No. You have to divide both sides by 4. So y equals 3x. That means the gradient is 3. The gradient is 3 here. The gradient is 3. And there is no y-intercept. That means it is 0. For the equation, the fourth equation, it is 2y minus 10x equals 8. Does y subject of the formula? No. You have to bring the 10 here. So it will be 2y equals 10x plus 8. Divide by 2 both sides. So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals 5x plus 4. That means the gradient is 5 and the y-intercept is 4. هلا the 1 2 3 4 5. The fifth one اللي هي the fifth one اللي هي 3x plus y plus 10 equals 0. You have to make y subject of the formula. So y equals -3x minus 10. So the gradient is -3 and the y-intercept is -10. The sixth one اللي هي negative 2x plus y equals 1. So y is not a subject of the formula, so make y subject of the formula. So y equals 2x plus 1 if you bring the negative 2x to the other side. So the gradient is 2 and the y-intercept is 1. The last one is y equals 2. That means there is no gradient because this line is parallel to the x-axis. If you draw this line y equals 2, that means it passes through the 2 on the y-axis, and that means this line is horizontal. So the gradient is 0 because there is no x, and the y-intercept is 2. So the y-intercept here for this equation C equals 2. Okay.